Okay, hi. So this is OK here. We're streaming live action from round 4 of the Crazyhouse World Championship. Um, it's going to be National Master blitzbullet against garnek. The first game is already underway. So just quickly, would like to just recap how the first game's proceeded so far. And we're going to look from the point of view of blitzbullet, who was a candidate last year, so might be a slight favourite. But he's just lost this match. Okay, this went by too quickly. So can I just quickly look at that first game from garnek's point of view. Um, so he's playing this system where the two pawns, knight f6 system with these two pawns quite well positioned to start an attack. Quite nice. Yeah, nice way of winning a pawn there. So it looks like black's doing quite nice. I mean, if I just to turn the engine on. Yeah, okay, so it's fairly level. But okay, push, push. Okay, so it looks like, again, it feels like black's doing quite nicely, but oh, so that was a good way of just clearing away the dangerous bishop. Takes, takes, check. And again, in that final position, black has mate in 5, check, check, takes the queen, and white resigned. Oh, that went all by far too quickly for me, but we're going to have to just deal with that and get straight into the second game. So blitzbullet is love 1 down against garnek123. So garnek123 is clearly in form. So hi there, truly not an IM in the chat. So who else do we have? Got a couple of people. So yeah, so let's just have a look how game 2 has proceeded. So it's another e4 game, e4, e5, knight, but this is sort of very classical e4, e5 setup with the knight a4 on move 7, which is not completely standard, not necessarily the strongest, but something which people are playing quite a lot to try and deviate from mainline theory. Although why white would want to deviate from mainline theory, I'm not clear. Although having said that, this is I'm not an e4, e5 player in Crazyhouse or in normal chess. Okay, so blitzbullet is a very strong player, but obviously he hasn't played quite as much Crazyhouse recently. He was a candidate in last year's Crazyhouse World Championship, and this is going to be round 4 of the qualification for this year's candidates. So hi there, Oppa in CWC voice chat. Yeah, but unfortunately I can't read any chat on Discord, but I'll be able to read any chat on Twitch. And hopefully we'll be joined by others on the CWC voice later also. Okay, so what do we have here? Garnek thinking. So he's exposed the black king, but he's only got a queen in hand, and the knights do quite a good job of covering the light squares. So yeah, knight takes e5, check, but then this knight's protecting this bishop, so how would that improve things? What would I do here? Yeah. So this is a very territorial move, fairly defensive actually. Just staking out the territory. It's quite. I mean, those queen drops which stake out territory are actually quite powerful because the queens control a lot of squares. But the danger is that those queens can then be hit, like a knight can hit this queen now, like a knight drop here. Yeah, not sure if it's good. This you could take, take, take. How is that improving black's position? I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe because then black could drop another bishop here. So yeah, maybe it is improving his position. Yeah, so this is always the problem with queen drops. So garnet has, though he won the queen is. So let's just get quickly. How did he win the queen again? Just to recap, he broke through on f7. It seemed like a nice thing to win the queen, but the problem is it's not turning out quite as he might have planned. Okay, so that knight is defending on that e6 square is very nicely defended actually. Yeah, so what can white do to break through? Just sacking and dropping diagonals is what Garnek is trying to do, but I'm not sure he has enough in hand. And blitzbullet has got all the time in the world and all the pieces in the world, I think, to hold this, as far as I can see. Yeah. So he's got 2 more diagonals to come, like he can do a pawn drop. Okay, so he's trying to threaten mate. That's quite cute. Ooh. So he could he not have afforded bishop takes bishop? Maybe not. But now bishop, another bishop, pawn, bishop. Well, that just can just be taken. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Approach. Is there a mate on? So this square is covered, although might have been a mate. Bishop, knight. I'm not seeing. Okay. Okay, the rook file's opened. This looks very dangerous, but in the meantime, white's got a couple of pieces. I don't think they're enough to mate. Like, if you take the bishop, bishop here, check, drop. You got a couple of knights. Is that enough to mate? I mean, a bishop drop here would really hem the king in, but you'd still have these squares here. And would that be enough? You could have a pawn here, but then you still have these squares. You could have a knight here. You could still have those squares. So I think, yeah, I think you can just take it. The king can just drop back. I don't think he hasn't got 2 diagonals. You see, he could drop a pawn here, but he hasn't got a second diagonal. So he can just drop back to e8, I think, because no knight can get to him now. And now they're serious mating threats. But they're quite well covered. But it feels like there should be mating threats. Black needs to be careful not to lose a diagonal as well. The problem is if you take this rook, the queen then comes to the file and you've lost your control of that file. So you can't allow that at all. What do you do here? It seems, this is actually quite difficult. Because if you, the problem is rook takes bishop and then there's a threat of bishop here and that's suddenly quite scary. I'm suddenly quite worried about black. Maybe black's going to have to try and run this way. Run to the queen side. So we could have a knight drop here. Yeah, I think that is possible. The rook is covering the back rank. Okay, there's also just taking that bishop. He's going for quite an aggressive defensive approach. No, okay, now he's finally retreating. That is too slow. There's 12 seconds on the clock. That move from white is too slow. just maneuvering the bishop round. But it's amazing that there doesn't seem to be a finish. So white seems annoyingly safe, but black's got all the pieces. Rook takes h6 looked better. Yeah, rook takes h6 exactly, and bishop f7. That's what I was saying. I'm not sure it was mate, but it looked. Yeah, did look like it. Now, black really just needs. Yeah, so this also looks good. Well, it's like the black king. See, the white king is very safe, but at the moment, if black can find a single chink in the armor, as it were, white's position will deteriorate very quickly. So this is the beginning of trying to. Okay, it doesn't work because the bishop can just take it. But this is, and now the bishop's defending this square. Yeah, it's really hard to see how to break in, and this is what he's going for a knight here or here, but has he got time? He's got his knight in, and garnet's only down to 6 seconds, so he's found a chink in the white's defenses. Is it enough? The queen is landing, pawn is landing. Oh, not pawn. He's going to do this. Rook takes. Yeah, this is mate. Yeah, he had to cover that entry square. So you have to be really aware in Crazyhouse. You have a house, and you have to look at what are the entry squares into my house. And he didn't cover that. He had a very good fortress around his king, and and blitzbullet was targeting that entry square into his fortress, and he didn't cover it. Very important. And of course, blitzbullet had all the material. So once he was once he was in, it's like the Trojan horse. Everything else comes in straight away. Once you let one thing in, all the rest of the army comes flooding in. um, okay, so what do we have here? So it's another, just to recap, e4 knight f6, but it's a kind of French defense type setup. f3, interesting. Yeah, okay, because that knight doesn't really have good places to go. It could go back, it could go here, potentially. Okay, but it's inciting a swap. Why not take the knight? I'm not sure, but okay. White has a good pawn structure. The central pawns are controlling actually quite a lot. Maybe, yeah, this is the weak square, so this is the entry point into blitzbullet's castle, as it were. So you have to watch out for that. So yeah, that's quite cunning. He takes out the piece which would target that entry square, so it's now covered. It's very nice. Now he's looking himself. What's the entry square into the black position? Not this. It's so well defended, actually. Curiously, I think that's safe. I think h6 is going to be the entry square into the black position. And g7. Just knight takes g7. Potentially, although it's slow because black doesn't have to take back the knight, but if he doesn't take back the knight can just withdraw and continue the attack. And so, yeah, black doesn't really have anything. Yeah, knight takes bishop. He does drop here a bishop. You can pick up a rook, potentially, or drop another pawn here. Okay, he goes for a knight. Interesting. So he's going for this pawn. Okay. But then what? Ooh. So taking with the bishop does defend g7, but it just allows the knight to hang out here, which is not so nice. But I guess he was afraid if knight takes, there would have been pawn at g7, knight takes knight, pawn takes rook, that sort of line. I can't say which is better, but that was just another way it could have gone. Yeah, pawn. This, I don't know. This doesn't look good. A bishop is dropping on h6 as well. So interesting. He didn't approach via h6. I thought the pawn would land on h6, but no. He's saving up h6 for a bishop. It seems because he knows that f6 is going to be sacked on. So he doesn't. So he drops pawns on f6 and going to be dropping bishops on h6, I guess. And also, bishop on h6 is quite good because it also defends that weak e3 square if ever you need to do backward defensive action. Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, bishop on g5 looks really juicy. It's just staking out both defense and offense. So far this is really comfortable. Has been a really comfortable game for White to play, and I'm guessing he'll probably go for some kind of counter here. But the problem is, it's bishop takes rook, queen takes, and another bishop is dropping. So what to do to stop that for garnek123, who's a FIDE master, I believe, from Poland. Hi there, Oppa in the chat, Byron90. I like white here. Pawn at g7. I might be really... Pawn at g7. Maybe that was slightly delayed chat, so I'm sorry if it was. Yeah, so bishop returning on this. Yeah, so knight here, just pick up this bishop. You keep on just exchanging off black's pieces, so black will have plenty in hand with almost nothing on the board. I think knight here would be quite good. There's even the potential of picking up a queen for a rook and knight if you thought that was a good idea. Let's see, is it a good idea in this position? So if you dropped a rook here, queen takes, knight takes. No, I think, okay, the king doesn't have to take back that knight is the problem. Ooh, but yeah, you don't have another knight in hand to make it worthwhile. This feels a lot better. Although he didn't have to take back the queen, potentially. I'm not sure if he did. Yeah, he's going to pick up a pawn now. Look how bishops are wonderful defenders. It's a very kind of basic truth. He's going to pick up a pawn. Where's the pawn going to go, though? Because all he has in hands is pawns. He's going to take a bishop, surely. Just take another pawn. Oh, is that a threat? Bishop takes pawn check. It's not a threat. I mean, it's an only hope. Just take it. Takes the bishop. Okay, so he says, I'm still safe. I've got all these pawns. Now, where are these pawns going to land? Probably on f6. He's going to claim I'm totally safe. Oh, there are a lot of knights, though, you have to deal with. Can you afford to go queen takes knight? No, probably not, because f7 is defended by the queen. Okay, black has a lot of knights, and I'm suddenly a little bit nervous. And Venflay is commenting in the chat how blitzbullet plays extremely fast, whereas garnek123 is really taking his time. I'm really nervous because that knight coming in there would be mating if you fell back this way. If you pawn here and knight comes in with checkmate into the corner. He's having to run for it basically, and I think he can. The knights can't pursue him. Oh, but king here falls to queen takes bishop. It's really unpleasant. He could just take that pawn though, can't he? Then he's losing a rook, and then the knight's attacking the queen. Another knight could drop. So he needs a mating idea. So does he have a mating idea? Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't been following the chat nicely enough. Bishop e5 and knight h6 sometimes look very strong. Black winning. Black winning. Bishop e5 and knight h6. That was earlier, knight h6 sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, so he says now black's in control. Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit worried that there's always this knight f7 threat, but black has the initiative for sure. Black has the initiative, but yeah, king goes to b2. Oh, I don't like that. He can drop a pawn on c2 is so unpleasant. Oh, I see, it's not unpleasant, because there's a mating threat. Is it a mating threat? Knight f7? Okay. Instead of drop on g5 with the bishop a while ago, instead of dropping on g5, bishop e5. Okay, I'll... whoa. Hang on, so takes the queen, takes back. He takes back the knight. He doesn't go for some... Yeah, he's only got one knight. He doesn't have a mate, but he could have picked up the queen, but maybe there was a mating threat. I'm going to have to go all the way back, and I don't know. Okay, he does pick up the queen, so now he has a mating threat on h8. Ah, this is looking good for white now suddenly, and black's out of time. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to have to quickly just have a look at that again. Yeah, white in complete cruise control here. Something went wrong somewhere. Okay, yeah, instead of bishop g5, which was very nice, bishop e5 is instead, and knight h6 is what Opera is saying in the chat. Yeah, and look at that. Bishop at g5, in the stockfish, bishop at g5 plus 0.5. Suddenly, for some reason, it doesn't work as nicely. Whereas bishop here, you have, of course, knight here, and then if you take the knight, there's a rook in the corner, and things are kind of nasty. So, yeah, so if for example, you do something like this, knight at h6, this is exactly what Opera was saying in the chat. But this, okay, now in this position, the king on b2 looked actually quite, so this position, yeah, this was quite interesting, because king on here, yeah, knight takes queen. I was really worried about, so the problem is, you have to defend this square. Yeah, knight takes queen, why not, yeah, just knight to f7 check, king here. Now, is there a mating threat? No, because the rook's covering. So I think there's a pawn here threat, but okay, so I'm not sure, but bishop takes queen is stronger than knight takes queen, because now you've got a mate in one threat, and the speed of your attack is really important. And maybe does black have a mate in exchange? Maybe not. So it's really tight, because both sides are like about to mate the other. But okay, but the way it turned out in the end, because it just went way too fast for me to follow it, is knight here checked, he takes the queen, he just eats up all black's attackers, and okay. Okay, trying to get back to blitzbullet's TV. So blitzbullet is now 2-1 up. I'm sorry for missing the action at the beginning of game. Yeah, so if you had a second knight, he's saying, then it would be very strong in that line. So what? So this is interesting. Oh, so that's e4 e5. So Scotch defense. Ooh, interesting. So blitzbullet going for some very defensive setup. Feels. Now why not? Oh, he can't go bishop takes bishop because he's afraid of the pawn dropping on g7. So he does that instead. Very nice move. So he's winning 2 pieces for his queen, I think. Yeah, winning 1 piece, winning a second piece, and the king is suddenly quite safe. And is it for a second game? All he has is this is good for black, as often says. All Garnek has is the queen in hand. Queen is not so good. It doesn't have other pieces with it. It's good because it's safe. Oh, but that is a nasty entry square. e8 unprotected. It's quite hard to protect. So yeah, Venpler is saying this is quite passive. Bishop b7. You should have gone for bishop takes b2. And bishop at a5 check. As the bishop should have been used here to protect here instead of being used here. So just go bishop takes b2 and bishop a5 check. Now this is difficult to defend. I mean, yeah, the knight defends it, but suddenly this is not so comfortable anymore for black. So he's had to sacrifice a knight. Now white's got a knight and queen, which are a dangerous combination. Oh, yeah, he didn't have this because the square's all defended. So he just goes for the rook. Let's see, did he have nothing better? Yeah, so these black bishops are actually doing quite a good job defending dark squares. So bishop a5 isn't. He got bishop in hand, so bishop a5 is an idea. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm behind on the chat. Oh, nice, that was earlier. So we have.
What's up, guys?
Hi there, Isaac Lee. We're streaming some CWC action between blitzbullet and garnek123. So if you go to the Lichess TV of blitzbullet or garnek123, you'll see the game, and I'll be posting this to YouTube later. Okay.
Is anyone there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot I was on push to talk. Yeah, I'm streaming this on Twitch. We're watching the CWC match between blitzbullet and garnek123. I didn't realize all this time that I wasn't actually talking on the CWC voice because there's no one else talking back to me basically until now, and I'd forgotten to push to talk. So if you watched on the Lichess TV, if you watch either blitzbullet or garnek123, you'll see it's a round 4 match of the Crazyhouse World Championship, and blitzbullet is leading 2-1. And this is to get into round 5. This is the winner's bracket. So if these guys win this game and the next one, they're in the candidates. So that's what's at stake. So just recapping again this 4th game because I lost a little bit of. Oh, it's already over. So blitzbullet lost it. Okay, so so he's down quite a lot of material, and kind of his back. Seems like his back rank got exposed, but didn't quite follow all of that.
Yeah, I just joined halfway through. So
yeah, so we're now in game 5.
I can comment on this game a little bit, but
yes, you're welcome. So you're welcome. Sorry, I forget to push to talk sometimes because I'm talking on stream and I need to press the push to talk on the CWC voice also.
you could turn that off.
I could, but I just worried that then I'll Yeah, I don't know why. I think
Fair enough.
I was yeah.
Sure.
I was thinking that way I could talk to stream without always talking to CWC voice. But okay, so what is this? The
Yeah,
new
I guess that can make sense too.
Bishop G4 to keep symmetry.
Yeah, I don't think that black wants symmetry though, because I think that the first move advantage will immediately break symmetry as soon as white wants to.
Yeah, I mean absolutely. Yeah, white will have an advantage if you're going to go with symmetry for sure. So I should introduce you properly. This is Isaac Ray, also on the CWC voice chat. Um, Sam,
Yeah, I'm decent.
yeah. Well, thanks for
Not that great.
no, thanks for joining in. Yeah, no, I think you're slightly better than I am.
Usually, I'm better at finding ideas than actually using them.
Yeah, that's what's important for. It's an ideas game.
Or rather, maybe I'll see many ideas and some of them won't pan out. And if you play them all in your games, then you end up down a lot of material
Yeah,
with no attack.
I guess also to be a good player, you need to know how to play those ideas in the right order and stuff. That's also because often you see even the best players, they've got the right ideas, but then you just play them in slightly the wrong order, and it just completely kills your game.
So this is interesting. It looks like blitzbullet is planning on sacking on e5.
Yeah, and also he's thinking of a knight drop.
He's trying to stop black from castling.
Knight at g7 is probably coming first. And then if the king goes one way, there could be a sack on. Yep. If the king went the other way, it would be bishop takes h6.
Oh yeah, here. So there's a fork.
Right, exactly.
So white is starting these two different pawns, and this seems well. I guess queen at d5 is the only stop.
Right, and probably queen at d4 to follow. Yep.
Yeah, this seems almost lost for black at this point. I don't see. Well, I guess black is gonna have to stack material to distract the knight on e5. So we might see like a bishop at g4.
Okay, so but the knight's covering f7, so yeah, black's holding.
Right,
yeah,
I missed that.
Black's holding for now. So it's actually it is quite tense. Looks solid for black. I like the material advantage, says Oppa, because black does have the extra knight. So black does have an extra.
Well, so the threat is at b7 now, right?
At b7, bishop takes, and then queen there, checkmate. Yeah, queen d6. Yeah, that is nasty. So now all the pieces are hanging. It's one of those games because knight takes f2 is coming. If you don't take it, and if you do take it, bishop takes c4 is coming. Okay, so he's taking the bishop, so knight takes either knight or he takes that knight, central knight. So he thinks that knight was more important.
Yeah, but I don't think so because I don't see what black has now.
He's got a queen in hand, so anything is possible. He's now so it's attacking the rook and the pawn, but you don't really want to. There's also
maybe like rook takes 7.
The problem is the problem is queen. The problem is queen at f1 and knight takes f2 would be coming if you did that. Not necessarily winning, but it is looking nasty. I'm really not sure if that's. Yeah, it's just hairy. It's not clear at all. And then the other knight would be coming to c4 with the king when the king goes to d2. So it's really sharp basically.
Wow, this is a interesting defense too because black can get in but doesn't have a knight.
Yeah.
I'm curious why he did pawn at d3 instead of bishop d2 for defense.
Maybe afraid of a sack. I'm not sure. So the queen takes g2 potentially. Queen g4 check takes c4. Oh yes, I was thinking queen at g4 takes g2, but Opera in the chat just observed that queen is really threatening queen takes bishop because of the pin. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think black is very far ahead now. There's like a rook takes d3 on.
Yeah, that's very nicely observed.
And white needs more diagonals because white's only attack is through the dark squares.
That's true. Yeah. Can't see anything else for now. Yeah, he's very solid.
Oh man. This is yeah.
See, he's getting even more material. So this is Vempile's, an example of Vempile's. If you're crushing, crush some more. If you can't find mate, it's instructive probably because there's no obvious way through for black, but you just have to keep grinding your way through.
Well, white had a chance to do knight. White had a chance to do knight takes c3 check, and I think just passed it up because it was pre-moved.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
I think on move 33.
Yeah,
White could have done knight takes c6 instead.
That's true. Yes.
It might not have made a difference in the game, but it seems better than what happened.
Yeah, I've got lots of chat on Twitch, but I can't follow all this notation because the game is moving way too quickly. From Truly Not an I Am and Byron90. It's going far too fast for me to follow everything. Hi there, Lil Plotkin, also on the CWC voice chat. We're streaming blitzbullet against garnek123.
What's the score?
It's 2 games all. And garnek123 is putting the pressure on, but he's only got 5 seconds left. In all these games, blitzbullet is playing like a maniac in terms of speed.
This has got to be over. Knight at f8. Knight at f8. Just wins, I think.
I'm getting weird background noise from someone. I think it's from Tits in a Blender.
Okay, let me adjust that. I'll be back later.
Okay, knight. Queen takes. Oh, you can just take the knight. Queen takes knight.
I don't see the finish.
Oh,
yeah,
rook.
no, you can't.
Rook, king. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
that was a close game.
Wow. And just in that last game, opposite king d8 instead of king e8 was probably safer. I just.
No, the very last move, that's still lost.
King, yeah. So he's right. King d8 after knight at f8 check. King d8. Black is hugely winning because he has this huge army in hand, and there is actually no mate if the king goes to d8 because the bishop covers e7. Yeah. Whereas if you go to the other way, there was this knight at g7 trick, deflecting the queen, then rook, and then the other rook. So yeah, you're defended by the squares around the king are better defended by the bishop on c8 that way. Okay.
The tele says it was already made, no matter what you did.
It was saying black was winning, so that's weird. Okay. Oh yeah, from pawn at e7 check. Yeah. After pawn at e7 check.
That was the move before.
Yeah, that was the move before. Yeah, the moment he walked into there, he was. I think so. Yeah. So we're into a kind of. So blitzbullet has taken a 3-2 lead. So somehow winning that last one. Okay, so a knight's on offer, but it will open up this rook file.
So white's starting putting something on f6 now.
That's true, yeah.
This is to block that off. Now it's gonna just sack on g6, I guess, if he gets another knight. There's this theme where if you have a bishop on the long black diagonal, then you can place a pawn on h7,
Yeah, yeah.
and then when the rook is distracted, you take the other pawn.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not the case here. Yeah, but that is often an idea, especially in Berghaus, this idea of, yeah, dropping a pawn on g6, dropping a piece on g6, kind of idea, yeah. So Opera in the chat saying black for black in this position, d5 ideas. d5. d5? Not quite sure, but that seems to be blocking the bishop diagonal, but okay. Oh, d5 for white.
White is defending h.
Yeah, no, he was saying, I think he was saying d5 for white was an idea. Takes, but I'm not completely, he needs to obviously, yeah, this position is just too complicated.
I think he's saying d5 and then e4.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Open up the...
My mind is being boggled by this position right now. Like, just like, what is going on?
Yeah, I don't understand the sack either. Can't you recapture the bishop?
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, what is going on here?
He's probably playing knight h4. Yeah.
Yeah, but then why not play knight h4? Why knight at h4?
You can take the rook if it tries to defend on g3.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so this is actually quite a nice attack on f3. Okay, so this, and I was thinking earlier, f3 is, we were talking earlier about fortresses. You know, in Crazyhouse you have a house, and entry squares into that house are really important. For white, yeah, without a drop on e3,
yeah,
knight
but
h4.
this is really complicated because, so I mean, what can happen here is white will sack his queen on f3, and then black wants to take back with the bishop, but white can drop that bishop is also guarding c8. So
That's true, yes. So
there's like a complicated tempo here where like if black gets the bishop on f3, then he's probably threatening mate in 1, but white might have
yeah, but white's used his queen. Sure, but what white's used up his queen now, so it's not a big deal now. So bishop takes pawn looks complete.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he did that.
Yeah.
Now you've got stuff like rook at g1 and then pawn at g2.
Indeed.
Do you really do something with 2 queens all in hand? I mean, pawn at g2 and then queen sack.
Yeah, queen sack.
And all. You only have 2 queens.
Yeah. So well, yeah. Hi there, Lone Wolf. Yeah, welcome. Just to introduce you to the stream. This is a Lone Wolf. Yeah, good point. If you sack the queen, black's got 2 queens in hand. No, do. It's cool to have as many people as possible joining in.
I didn't know we were on stream.
Yeah, no, this will be on. This will be on YouTube, but it's great stuff. We want as many people as possible.
You're famous.
I meant that if g2 drop and the queen sack, then
I
could just have a queen for a bishop.
Exactly.
Or a couple of bishops.
Exactly.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah,
it was a good point.
Yeah, but absolutely, because you'd have 2 queens in hand, but it's difficult to do stuff with only queens. Bishop. No, but bishop takes queen. Oh, what's he doing?
Oh, but there's also white can get a knight with check.
Bishop takes queen.
Oh yeah, bishop takes queen. Bishop takes queen is even more direct.
But then knight takes. I think black is safe.
Uh,
Now knight f3. And this might be mating.
bishop at
Yeah,
bishop at d1.
bishop d1.
Yeah, this is mate. It's just mate in 2.
Yeah.
Is it?
So he can
He-
just take there, but
King
it's
c1.
not.
It's mate. It's still gonna be mate.
He's only got one
Yeah, it's
queen though.
not mate.
He's only got one queen. I can't see the mate.
You do. I think knight e1 here, so that you open up the f3 spot for your queen.
But you should not allow king to c4, I think.
Oh yeah.
So
Uh,
queen e2 maybe is better.
but the king on c4 isn't exactly safe because you can do d4. I mean d5.
d5,
Yeah.
and
Okay. I found the mate. I found the mate. I found the mate.
knight or rook.
I found the mate. It's
Find a mate.
yeah. It's queen at e2, king e4, then d5 check, and then king
Oh, there is a bishop.
king d5.
The bishop takes is even easier.
Okay. Yeah.
This is just maiden.
Sure.
Just make it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But mine was ending with knight c6 checkmate. But yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
This is
And as truly not an IM says, king can't even go to d5. I was being stupid because the knight was actually covering that square. So yeah. So yeah, blitzbullet taking a 4-2 lead. Kudos to him.
Yeah,
I guess that was somewhat expected, right? He's certainly the favorite.
He's certainly the favorite, but he was out of form. He
I'm
has.
not sure. I think retouch is quite good usually. And having seen how blitzbullet hadn't been played for a long time, he seemed to be a bit rusty. But maybe he practiced a bit.
He was.
I wonder if he's still on a trackpad.
Yeah. So blitzbullet.
He was
Yeah, he was practicing with.
known for using a trackpad.
Yeah, like Little Plotkin also. He was playing with Little Plotkin actually last night. They had an 18-game series, and blitzbullet won 10 games to 8. And Little Plotkin was quite pleased with himself or maybe it was, well, one of them won by 10 games to 8, and Little Plotkin was quite pleased to get such a close score against blitzbullet.
Yeah.
It was just a bullet
Yeah,
match.
I think blitzbullet is quite stronger than Plotkin in DH.
He's certainly very strong, but the question is, was he in form? And well, he's looking in pretty decent form so far. And actually, he's playing. I mean, he is playing as if it's a bullet match. Actually, if you look at the way he's playing.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake by him,
And
to be honest.
and it's actually, well, the thing is, in a lot of these games, actually, garnek123 is actually doing pretty decently, but then in time pressure, it's starting to hurt. So it's a tactic.
In terms of the mind games, it's so irritating when someone plays like bullet and then still wins. Someone uses like six seconds total and then still beats you. That's such a mind fuck.
Psychological edge.
So yeah, so they're pointing what if you take the queen and go h
I
takes.
guess he's forced to trade queens here.
This might have been better earlier on. Take the queen, f takes g2. Maybe. We're not sure.
Yeah, but it looks awful to exchange queens right here.
Okay, but obviously you have to stop the mate. You have to stop the mate on d8. So you have to exchange queens and okay, you don't have to exchange queens.
You should be having something like that.
This is
But
good.
yeah, I think this gives up the pawn. He can
Yeah,
play the pawn.
you have to. I mean, to stop the rook from getting on the d5 with tempo.
I don't know. I think both these guys are not enough materialistic, to be honest. I think they're both too used to bankhouse, and they play very aggressive and very they both tend to undervalue material. Generally, it's my impression.
Yeah. So Vempele was suggesting at c6.
You think before how blitzbullet gave away a lot of material just to be safe,
Yes.
and that's something you should not do in Crazy House.
Yeah, I preferred at c6 instead of at a6.
Well, now it's difficult to defend as black. Yeah, too many things hanging.
But at c6 would have made this a meat threat.
Yeah, because it's what he's saying is that c6 is covering d7. Yeah, a nice point.
So
Okay, so we've got a mate and one threat on d8, which is easily blocked. But then what?
I guess bishop d6 is coming, or knight. Oh, okay, I see, because he wants maybe to defend. I guess now takes b7 and bishop takes b7. Bishop takes and queen takes, probably.
I don't think that white can do that.
I was thinking of pawn at e7,
But I don't
but
think it would be
but
wise.
maybe it doesn't work. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, but white has a lot of
I
pawns.
think he's gonna. Yeah. Well,
I'm not impressed with this.
yeah, I don't like at c5 either.
No, because it's threatening bishop at d7 and
Yeah, that is true,
but knight
I don't
takes
think this knight
but
is
knight
very useful.
but knight takes
Stay
bishop.
there.
But knight takes bishop. Hang on, knight takes bishop. Oh, that gets mated. Bishop at d7 is mate. Okay,
and
whoa.
that's mate.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, the knight can't move, but it's not a big deal. The knight is not. It's not that important.
Yeah.
I like pawn at e7, but at some point. But no, he hasn't got any pawns left. Darn.
And now we see how the time pressure.
Yeah, now it's time pressure.
emerges.
Now it's time pressure, exactly. You can't take it because the knight at f3.
We got the buckhouse thematic. Bishop takes h7.
We did, yes. The rook comes here, bishop takes h7. Oh, does black have mate? Oh, if you...
Yeah, this is just white crashing.
White is crushing.
It's not clear.
I think so. Queen takes knight. Queen takes knight. What can black do?
Black has some stuff.
Yeah, you got a bishop drop on.
I think you can just take everything.
No, I don't think so. Bishop at e4.
Yeah, bishop at e4.
Yeah. King e2.
Queen comes in. Queen d5.
Yeah, queen b.
I would've-
Yeah. Isaac is spot on.
Then you just
You-
block.
Yeah, but okay, but then that's fine, and then you drop the knight. Isaac is spot on. Like that queen drop, you want to bring your queen in. It's a mistake I made in my elimination match. I didn't.
Okay, now knight f3, and this is the problem. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind. Yeah.
queen takes rook coming, but do you have a diagonal? Oh, yes, he's got bishop takes pawn. A rook in the court. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, that was a nice comeback from garnek123. I mean, these are some quite intense games, which you'd expect from round 4 of the Crazyhouse World Championship. So it's good stuff. So are the players pausing or something?
Let's see. Then.
It seems like blitzbullet has gone offline, which seems weird.
I still see him as on.
Oh, he is on. No, he's online. He's just not playing. Okay.
They may just be taking a break.
Yeah. It was quite an intense game. I mean, we've had quite a lot of intense games. So
Okay, after f3, just king h3. That was the point.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but king h3 is the better choice.
That way the queen is doing a better
And
job covering.
stockfish things quite equal.
Quite a high quality game actually, given the complexities.
Paul Training is saying that he's surprised why we didn't have more of an advantage in the opening according to the engine. And I agree actually. I'm quite surprised that Black is winning according to the engine in the opening when it seems like White is attacking everything. But actually Black holds.
Yeah. So like the pawn at c6 was the best move, as Oppa was saying, but it's plus 2.4 according to the engines. It's quite. It's not crushing. For example.
I think a new game is starting, but Lichess is timing out for me.
Oh,
Here we go.
okay.
Yes, the new game started.
I'm not seeing it, but
This is the 12 queen opening.
okay, I'm back. So just seeing how things have got
So
progressed.
how does Black guard b7 here?
I think that's knight c6 now. Yeah.
This is shaping up to be another super.
Is that Kyle?
Yeah, that's Kyle. Welcome, Kyle. I'm getting feedback from you though.
Up.
Yeah. So
You can just change it down.
So here White is doing well. He made an interesting rook sacrifice.
Kyle, we're getting feedback from you, unfortunately.
No, it's not. It's not from Kyle. It's from Potkin.
Is it? Okay. But he's mute.
But I just muted him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that only affects me.
No, yeah, you just muted him for everyone.
All right. Well.
You have superpowers.
Oh. Okay.
Like, did himself.
No, I didn't know that it did that.
Yeah, it's been a very high quality match, Kyle, so far. Quite intense, sharp encounter, and some big swings, like one player completely winning and then the other player taking over.
Yeah, I expect this match to go on after the 10 games.
Yeah, like that Fumi Talks match, like 24 games.
It could do, but blitzbullet could just win a couple and then it's all over.
Yeah.
This. He's also in this silver.
Garnek123 is in the server. Is blitzbullet also, you're saying? Or?
No, blitzbullet is not.
No, blitzbullet isn't. Okay. He's trying to tempt knight takes rook, pawn
I
takes.
think blitzbullet is not playing much lately.
No, not much. But the quality is still there. Okay, bishop takes f7 being the threat. Is there any follow-up? Not really, but...
Take the look as well when you have super weak.
Yeah, he wants, exactly, he's trying to incite black to castle, because before black castled he had knight takes rook, pawn takes knight, and an open rook file staring down on h2. And it was, yeah, it looked okay, but I don't know, black's looking okay, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean both sides don't have really enough to break through.
Yeah, Venplay.
With the knight and the bishop.
That's true. Yeah, Venplay is saying it's black's in trouble. It's like the opening's bad for black, but
Black is in trouble.
yeah, you got a good point. These knight and bishop are very good defensive. But still, if you're trying to talk about as a fortress, what's the entry square in this position? Well, the entry square is h3. We just need to pick up some pawns and drop on h3 for black.
I think the entry square is f3 actually.
f3 is too well guarded. Knight, bishop, pawn, queen. But maybe.
What if bishop takes c6 now,
Yeah. So
and then drop e7?
yeah, exactly.
I think the white has a lot of rooks, so he should try to go for the rank.
Yeah.
I guess this is just crushing for white.
Right.
Like there's not enough.
Yeah, exactly. It does.
So queen can take because otherwise leaves the fourth.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Yeah.
You can still just pawn take them, not get killed.
Or,
Pawn take and then pawn e7.
Yeah, but if you take with the pawn, you close off that diagonal to the point that
Actually,
it's
pawn and g6 was a bigger problem, which is why he played that.
he just goes and sacks the queen. Oops. I don't know if you want to.
Raise.
okay, this has to be lost.
Completely lost, yes. He's
Yeah, like
a rook and
when Paris said this is the point where you ask for trades to your partner.
yeah, exactly. He's just down too many pieces. I mean, it's just going to be a grind. White can just lay on his pieces and just grind him down.
I think blitzbullet is gonna lose this.
For sure.
Because honestly,
So 4 is gonna be interesting.
okay.
Okay. So let's see. So white's thinking a lot. That's the only danger for white. It's running low on time, because it's going to be a grind. Okay, what is the idea of that move?
Bishop e8. Whoa, that's nice.
I don't understand it.
King e7 is the move after rook takes.
Right.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I was thinking rook at h8 and then knight takes pawn was his idea, but I really didn't understand it. But that was possible. Yeah, rook at h8, king to rook at h8, king takes rook, knight takes pawn, check.
Or rook at h8, yeah.
Yeah.
Rook h8 might be made.
Yeah.
So many pieces, like it's absolutely made.
Yeah, this is resignable.
Yeah, I think you should resign here.
You never resign in Crazyhouse, but even this is resignable. Yeah. Yeah. Rook at h8,
Rook h8. Oh,
king takes, knight takes rook. King here, rook here,
queen e8.
Even with half the amount of pieces you have.
queen here, and a pawn here. Yep.
You only need a knight and a pawn.
Yeah, even a knight.
So you need to make.
Yeah, even a knight, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Always plays this opening, like in most of his matches.
So garnek123. Hi there, lazy. Something very noisy happening in the background.
Hello, what's going on right now?
We're streaming blitzbullet against garnek123. Round four.
Oh, no way.
Round 4 of the Crazyhouse World Championship. So there are only 3 matches left, and this is.
See, this is where the streamer's box comes into play. So specifically, it's designed that the streamer's box can only fit when you're streaming.
Yeah,
You
I want
unmute
I want everyone. This is like join in the fun.
Yeah, but this is the
Uh,
thing that we
as long as we don't
this way.
as long as we don't have feedback, and as long as we don't have like too much background noise. Oh, we got Helm's Knight in the Twitch chat, and I just haven't been paying attention to Twitch chat.
Yeah, to join the voice channel.
Hi there, Helm's Knight. The audio is glitching apparently. Oh, that's sad. Bakus, did you get?
Gonna let me get rid of the channel.
Oh, okay, you should add Leicester on to the stream title. Says from Pele
Oh, that's
in the Leicester
yeah.
chat.
I always do. I just forgot to. That's terrible. Okay. So let's just have a look. Helm's like, okay. Also, where are you talking? Okay, yeah. So what we're doing is we're talking on the Discord, which you're a member of, the house Discord, and you're welcome to come and join in. But about the glitching, I've got no idea how to fix that. So, and we've got a bunch of people here. We've got a bunch of people listening in and a bunch of people talking. So talking is the lazy.
Yeah, so that's why I said use Box because it's specifically got a lower bit rate, so that it's more likely to work with streams. But I can lower the bit rate for this channel too.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the reason was just so that if I was in the streamers box, like everyone else might be in CWC voice, and I'd be very alone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just checked CWC voice when I thought this was CWC. But I guess either way is fine.
Who's playing right now?
So it's blitzbullet against garnek123, and
Which is very sad.
and it's 4 games all. Yeah, garnek123 is Resak, I believe, a FIDE master from Poland, if I'm not mistaken. And blitzbullet was 4-2 in the lead,
Now, knight takes d6,
but Garnek's fought back to 4-all.
and knight takes d4.
And we've had lots of very sharp games,
Okay.
and this one looks almost peaceful by comparison.
Yeah, I think white is crashing here.
Okay, so I should add Lee chess, so I'm sorry about that. Okay.
So take the knight, and then knight c6 is a threat. So he defends.
Yeah, I'm surprised he took with the knight though. I would have expected bishop takes e4 instead.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But there is some point with the knight as well because you are attacking d6 maybe.
Yeah, he's switching to the dark squares.
Yeah, black out of material, which is worrying for him temporarily. But is there any counterattack?
Not that I see.
I mean, player have to get a look even if you do it's called.
So now maybe attack f6. Something like knight at f6. Okay.
So
Calmly.
he's going for the knight, I assume. I'm not sure, but
He wants a look.
or maybe just takes.
Yeah, now bishop check. Agree.
Oh, because black has no blockers.
Yeah.
This is a weird game compared to most of them because both sides are lacking pieces.
Well, white is just absolutely crushing here. C6 is so weak.
E1 maybe.
I would say D5.
You're right. So
Knight takes 3. I think something annoying. You want to let him without pieces.
You have to be careful not to trade queens when, like, you don't want to get spotted.
Yeah,
Oh, right, because there's a mate hanging over if you trade. I didn't see that.
I joined the house party channel, but no.
okay, Helms, you can't find. So what you need to do is you need to go to the role assignment and type in .iam space CWC if you're not already part of the CWC channel for the Crazyhouse World Championship. And when you do that, you should then get a CWC. The CWC chat, which I thought you were already on it, but you get CWC, all the CWC channels come up, and including the CWC voice channel, where there are a bunch of people talking. So I can just introduce people again. There's some people.
It seems like I can move her to
Yeah. Okay. So who?
CDC voice.
Okay.
Hey, Hans. This was easier.
Okay. So that's the lone wolf there. So we've got the lazy, and we've got Kyle who just spoke just now, and you've got Isaac. And you've got a bunch of other people who are listening in who are muted right now, and also a bunch of people on Twitch. Hi there, Bakus, and Helms Knight, and others. Oh, quadruple pawns! I've never seen that for a while. You can't find it. Okay, so Lone Wolf is trying to help you out to move. Can you see how
No, I moved her there, but she left.
she left? She said she's lost.
I think so, yeah.
I can't. Is she? So yeah, Lone Wolf is trying. If you enter one of the voice channels, maybe we can move you to the CWC voice channel. But has she?
I have done already.
Yeah, has she got CWC role, by the way? The dot I am CWC.
No. Why did she leave? Why did she leave?
Maybe it's because she doesn't have the role. It's just it's chucking her out again. So yeah, Lone Wolf says try again, kind of thing.
Alright, so I will give her the CVC role.
Yeah, that would be the easiest thing to do because it may be something. Okay, pawn and knight.
Maybe Sister Brown has
This is looking dangerous.
wait.
No, the knight and bishop are still covered.
Yeah.
Rook takes bishop. Hang on.
Online. How many accounts does Helms have?
Just one. I think she is Helm's knight.
One.
Okay.
This is me.
Oh, nice mate. Yeah.
Okay, Garnek now has to get the win.
So it's a must-win game for Garnek.
So the
So I wonder if blitzbullet will play differently. I mean, he should strategically, but
Yeah, you mean play for the draw? If that's play for the GM draw.
yeah, that's what I mean.
You know those stockfish lines which are like forced draws.
I've never seen blitzbullet play for a draw.
No. I've
never seen like almost anything.
I was learning about the perk in regular chess last night, and apparently Yasser Serouan found some cool draw in 12 moves as black in 1988, which involves sacking your queen and then going bishop takes f2, bishop e3 check, bishop f2 check, bishop e3 check. So maybe chess players will know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so quite a solid setup for black. The sort of little Plotkin says he knows what I'm talking about. I think Little Plotkin plays the perk though. I'm guessing. I'm just learning about it for the first time because I play the King's Indian but not the perk, and I'm discovering that although they're a similar setup, they're completely different. But because I want to learn how to play the perk. But yeah, that's another thing. But I think I'm getting a bit distracted by this sort of line of thought when I should be watching this Crazyhouse match. But I think it's interesting because the King's Indian is a very kind of it's a closed setup. Whereas a perk, all the pawns are the tension is kept, and it's a very kind of different feel. And I think understanding how to play a closed position versus a position where the pawns are in tension is. Okay, this is normal chess, but I think there's probably quite a good skill to have in Crazyhouse as well, like knowing all that.
So I think I have white here.
Yeah.
I mean, I like black here. He's
Yeah, I thought I was biased, but I like how to like attack him.
I think that I would just sack the rook here.
Yeah.
Actually, bishop e4.
Yeah. Okay.
Or that, yeah.
E2, if bishop takes.
Yeah.
Why not queen takes d5? I think he was scared of bishop c6.
Yeah. Definitely.
But since he's vampire asking in the chat, maybe it was a good move. But he didn't have a bishop to drop.
I think he did.
He did have a bishop to drop.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he had.
Not
I'm pretty sure he did.
no. I mean, not to drop.
Yes.
but-
Oh no, he did not, because he dropped it on d5. My bad.
Yeah.
Then
Here and on the
Hello?
Hi there, Helms Knight.
hey,
Welcome.
Oh, that took forever.
Yeah, well, thanks to Lone Wolf for helping you get here.
You have to learn all the coded terms to join the right roles.
What's going on with your audio? I think it's still. I don't know if you fixed it. I exited for a second.
I'm not technology savvy, so if it's not
It sounds kind of like it sounds like completely broken up, and yeah, it sounds like that.
oh, that's a real shame. And that's
Yeah, that-
I think it's not supposed to sound like that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that that is also. I didn't think that you guys were just speaking like that.
no.
no, maybe it's a connection problem.
Apologies.
Because when Palace says it sounded fine to him. Pony free, yeah, no.
Well, we'll see when the
Oh, I mean, okay, voice is coming through fine. It's just Discord voices.
Oh, I see. Well, we'll hope for the best. I'm putting these I'm putting these round 4 recaps up on YouTube also afterwards, assuming that the sound assuming it's bearable.
Alright, let's get back to the game since it's
Yeah.
the last game of the series.
Potentially, if Blitzbullet can win this.
If Rook takes f7. Rook takes f7? No. What's that? I don't like what he did.
But black is safe. No? Oh, you don't like what white did? Yeah, sure.
7 is fine.
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh, we got safe.
does this work?
I think you can just sidestep and the queen is covering like the knight's going, so
Well, you can even take. But
so does white have a mate here?
So I think that the line is oh, this isn't what I was expecting.
Rook takes. What's the problem?
so play this way.
Oh, okay. This is the thing.
But rook takes queen is their mate.
Definitely prefer the
I didn't like this. I mean,
I think we have 8.
Is Isaac in the chat?
yeah, Isaac is here.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
8, and I think this is mating. Take at h6. Maybe
No, you can distract first and then take on g8.
Y-
And then
Yeah.
hit with a knight.
I agree.
this might still be mate.
Yeah, this is.
Does he have enough though?
Yeah,
But at least if anything goes wrong, he can still go bishop takes rook and
so now knight I think it's into.
King here, rook there. He has to take it. Not rook here, mate. That was a nice,
this is going 5-5.
nice find.
This
Why
is going
not?
to
Why not King F8? Why not King F8?
Well, that would have been better.
Yeah.
But I think it probably still lost eventually.
There was definitely a mate earlier, but the way he played it, maybe King F8 was safe.
I just realized that that bishop does defend on G7.
Yeah, it's mate in 5.
Yeah, it was mating 5 anyway, even with 8.
Mhm.
It just goes, knight g6 drop.
I mean, but if you wind back a few moves, black is winning like -11 before the whole, queen takes g3, queen takes g6. Before queen takes g6 was allowed. So the point was, why couldn't you take the queen?
Yeah, queen takes g6 was a very nice move.
So you have to win by 2.
You do indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
Or you can get a draw as well.
So,
No, actually, if there's a draw, you can win even by one.
so blitzbullet going for
You have
d4,
to win
d5
after
here.
an
Just
even number of games. So everyone has the same number of white and black.
so, hi there, fancy play syndrome in the Twitch chat. Queen f8, bishop h6, queen takes g8. Yeah, and
What?
hi there, Bakus. And yeah,
Risky though.
sorry I didn't catch that
Yeah.
during the last game.
Knight f6.
Doesn't
Oh.
do anything. Bishop is covering.
Actually, I like the attack.
Yeah, this looks strong.
White is just exponentially safer. Like,
But this
for
may
white.
it-
Attacking white.
this might be a forced mate even. If you take
This is completely lost.
Yeah.
The game is gonna end in 5 moves.
it's probably a mate. I can't see the mate immediately, but something like queen at h8, bishop takes g7, knight at f6, for example, would be mate.
Yeah. I've seen that as well.
Final checks, and then
Oh, you can do it now.
Let's see if he plays queen h8.
Yep, he does.
Yeah, he does.
It's
Yeah, I think it is the right time.
oh, hang on. So you can run up,
Mating.
run up.
No, you
Right.
can't.
There's mating 2 now.
Hang on.
is there? We can take the knight.
Yeah, the knight is guarding f4, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
Knight at h4.
The knight takes f3. Yeah, knight h4 and knight takes f3 instead of f4.
Oh, yeah.
That's not how I would have done it, but this still.
Well, okay.
It works.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
Going for the force mate.
It was quite
Okay, this is another must-win situation for Touch.
For garnek, yes. Hi there, fancy play. I'm sorry, I'm missing your lines again, but you got exactly the mate, so well done. And Baku's Helms is with us. She's on the voice chat now.
she left.
Okay, but she has.
Yeah, she left.
She popped out then. Okay. No, Helms Knight, you're welcome to interrupt. It's like everyone's welcome to join in, you especially. So Baku's, you can't see anyone on the voice channels. Okay, so Baku's can't see anyone. So what you need to do, Baku's, is you need to type in .iam space CWC.
Alright.
Okay, see you, Helms Knight.
Let's talk about the game.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. And
I will add him the role. So,
yeah, Baku's. And Fancy Play Syndrome is saying he used to be good, so yeah, I find it fun.
now you should be able to see.
So this could be the last match, so that's why we need to pay attention to the game. Okay, so any thoughts on this? It's quite so the queen's attacking the knight. Probably black wants to play e5, maybe. Maybe that's too risky. So either e5 or queen e5 or something like this. Okay, so he's going for a double attack on c2, which looks good. It's quite hard to defend.
Does knight takes f7 do something?
Okay, probably.
I'm about to find out.
He's probably going to ignore it and go straight for knight takes c2, but
Knight takes c2, king f1.
or even king d1. I'm not sure. Yeah, actually,
No, because that's in the queen's
yeah,
range.
that's true.
Like,
Okay, so I got the wrong knight.
oh, actually, anyway, bishop.
Queen takes bishop is very interesting. Ooh, it's so close to mate. Just this knight is doing a good job covering everything.
Yes, but
Also the queen is covering as well. Queen is covering d1.
he's covered, but the queen can be cut off by the bishop check, something like that.
There's also e3 is a potential interesting square. If we could just
But there is bishop and home.
I know. If we could just dislocate that bishop somehow.
So black managed to get rid of the bishop before to take knight. So there is now g6 drop. There is still knight g5 maybe.
So,
Doesn't seem enough.
I don't think knight g5 works because the king still has d8.
Yeah, I don't think either.
so to Baku's, I'll just off the CWC chat. I'm just going to tell you, Jan Lee's not playing because this whole tournament is to decide who gets to play Jan Lee
But the judge has to go all in now.
in the final of the Crazyhouse World Championship. So there'll be this qualifying round, then the candidates, and then Jan Lee will play the winner of this whole process. And Fancy Play says pawn e2. Pawn e2, yeah, the pawn e2 is though double covered. But yeah, absolutely. E2 is a crucial square. So you're not.
So what's White's plan of attack here?
You're not wrong.
Is he gonna move his rook out to d1?
Yes,
Okay.
spot on. But
Yeah, that's nice.
queen takes rook doesn't work because queen takes queen.
Bishop check on the diagonal. You can
I think bishop d3 now.
no bishop c4.
C4 as well.
That's what.
Yeah, C4 better probably.
Okay, so the queen's being hit, but that e2 square is going to be key. Okay.
Yeah, bishop c4 was nice. It was forcing drop d3. Drop d3.
Yes, exactly. This is what I just spotted it when you played it. Yeah, maybe it doesn't do anything, but this check. Now, could you even go queen takes pawn? No, maybe not. That's just crazy.
Yeah, now this is getting risky.
Are there any pawns?
So Black's only escape square is e7.
Yeah.
Can't.
Whoa.
But
Oh,
then
sorry.
you've got knight d5. This is really close.
But there's nothing for white.
Yeah, I don't see like how he mates. Black has some threats. Okay.
Yeah.
See? That's a move. Queen e2.
Yeah, I'm having difficulty following lines. Fancy play syndrome. Queen e2 now is what people.
Queen e2 now is a good move.
Well,
Yes.
nice one, Lone Wolf. So why does it work? Because
What's the threat? What's the threat with queen e2?
Because you're threatening b5 and queen trade mates for you.
yeah.
I don't think
He can move the knight now. This is whoa. What? Queen takes queen and he wants to attack with the rook?
He wants to attack with the rook. Yeah.
What's the plan?
nah.
But now he can escape maybe. He cut off the rook
He wants.
on the d5.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah. He wants to survive.
No, this is
No.
mate. This has gotta be right.
There is no mate.
I don't see mates, but I'm surprised.
The white is still winning. So easy.
Ooh, he's trying to tempt knight takes rook. It doesn't.
Oh, this is going bad.
This is amazing.
Queen drop a mate.
Queen drop. Mate. Wow.
Oh. Low time and I need to look at analysis here.
Yeah, I'm curious if White ever had an advantage in the end, but it doesn't look like it.
Like, Queen f7 is the fatal blunder. Doesn't really work. There's no mate and you cannot defend.
Yeah,
This is really nice.
who'd have thought that?
Black is winning all the way.
Who would have thought that?
Oh, what's this? What's this spike on move 18? So Stockfish says King G1 on move 19 draws.
He says it's equal. Yeah.
I don't see the minus 3.5 in LA, but oh yeah.
My stockfish bracket says -3.5.
Yeah, once it gets to depth 17 or so.
Yeah, I think the blunder for white was much before. Got a good position with after knight d5, knight d4 on the 16 move. But then he needed to play f7 drop.
So Baku says, nice game. Yeah, indeed. And strong match overall. So it's really sharp games. Sharp, good quality games. Knight takes c3 seems right. Knight takes c3 back seems correct. It's really just complicated, basically.
Well, once I think for a while on f7 drop, it switches back to 0. So I think Stockfish is everything's on the edge of, if the other side can find one tempo or something like that, that it's enough to balance. Now it's back to +3.
It's not a position you can solve.
f7 is probably stronger than what he did, but
Also, blitzbullet is free, and if he wins that, he goes to the candidates.
Yeah, and I think he has good possibilities against the GSPC.
Yeah, so winner this plays GSPC. Interesting.
alright guys, I gotta run. But
Yes,
I'll catch you for the next one.
yeah, great having you here. Great having you here,
Okay.
Isaac Lee. And thanks also.
Yep.
I should thank everyone else. So thanks to Isaac Lee, to Kyle, the Lone Wolf, and we had a drop by from Lazy as well, Lazy MD, and also from Helm's Note. Yeah, so thanks all for watching. This has been a pretty interesting game. So yeah, as people are saying, two more matches to go. So blitzbullet wins 7-5 after it was all tied at 5-all. So if we just let's see, this has already been analysed, not yet. So okay, sorry, that's not cross table. So this is actually the first time these players have played each other. Yeah. Quest computer analysis. No, I can't. So just looking at the first game again. Yeah, so play knight f6 first and then play. So we're seeing this line becoming more common at the highest level. So let's just see who's played it recently. We've had JK the Bullfrog and 12-teen. 12-teen playing it as black against JK the Bullfrog, and Opperwaisen playing it as black against Schwanet. Yeah, and in particular, this knight to b6 is less common, but again, I think that's a 2018 fashion, as it were. This knight to b6 move. It's funny how moves go in and out of fashion just because other people are playing them, so you try them out for a while, and then another move comes into fashion. So you see high contrast against retarded platypus, for example, playing this recently. So I can just get this. No. It'd be cool if we could get the computer analysis done for all these games. But okay, so what was the crucial point in this game? I'd like to turn the opening explorer off because we're out of the opening now. Yeah, so I wonder if that f3 move is good. No, so it probably isn't, because we saw Mugwort make make the f3 move against this pawn on g4 and slightly regret it. And that was this is what Figlu did. He pushed that pawn and then pushed. This is what Figlu did in his game against Mugwort. Is then he pushed this pawn, this h pawn, opened up the h file and got a huge attack on the white king. Baku says, as in regular chess, f3 is rarely a good idea. Yeah, but sometimes it is a good idea in Crazyhouse, but not in this position. So it's a good idea if you want to defend. Yeah, if you want to defend this f6 square, f3 square, it is sometimes a good idea, and it is well defended. So it does create weakness on the dark squares. But why is it not a good idea here? So I think the problem is because it's a good idea if you're defending against bishops, for example. f3 is really a really nice move if there's a bishop, because you're getting a tempo on that bishop, kicking it away. But against a pawn, you've got to be a little bit more careful because the pawn can push, and then this pawn can push, and yeah. And then, as we saw, even in regular chess, you know how in the French defense, the problem with the French defense is weak dark squares, and that's why in the French defense you do often push f6 at critical moments, and knowing when is the right time to push f6 is quite a difficult thing to have an intuition for. But you need to, in order not to be sort of destroyed on these dark squares and have a huge attack coming in on you, you need to be able to push f6 and get some breathing room, as it were. But here, yeah, it's not so good. Okay, so it's interesting. He has this h4 idea, but he also has this knight takes pawn idea for winning a pawn, which is just too tempting. So he goes for the pawn first. But that means he doesn't get to play this h4 idea. And at least not yet. Ah, now he plays h4. So he has sort of the delayed h4. It was in his plan all along. But yeah, so we can see how blitzbullet's clearly seen the the Fieglud Mugwort match and really been influenced by it in this match. Losing the queen, and suddenly his attack looks like it's been a bit dissolved, but not really. He's got enough attackers. Yeah, so we see rook takes h3 as mating, and he does indeed play rook takes h3, takes, knight here check, and mate is coming, check. He just takes off the queen. Was there a more forcing way of playing it? Oh, bishop at e3 straight away was also a way of winning the queen. This also works. So yeah. Okay, so let's run that through. Okay, let's look at the... I'm just going to just have another quick look through all the games. Why not? With the stockfish. So game 2, has this been analysed already? Not yet. Okay, so game 2. Okay, so actually, sorry, when I said that he'd clearly seen Garnek was black in that one, so it's rather that Garnek had clearly seen the Fieglud match. So it was garnek123 who won that game with that idea which Fieglud used against Mugwort. So I'll look at game 2 from blitzbullet's perspective. So he won as black as well. And Baku says, Crazyhouse is probably the most fun variant. Yes, definitely. There are lots. I mean, on the one hand, there's some very simple ideas that keep repeating. So Fancy Play Syndrome says, well, he gave up on ZH because it's just, he felt it's sort of the same kind of ideas and it's not as complex. But of course it is complex because the pieces in hand make the positions potentially much more complex. Sure, if you're just going to play bullet, it's just repeating the same sorts of ideas. But if you're going to play the game slowly, it's a more complex game than normal chess. And 3+2 is not exactly slowly, but it's the closest we have to slowly. Okay, so it feels like white's kind of made... Yeah, so in this position, white had kind of entered into the black position, but doesn't really have the same kind of material. So if white isn't mating here, then... And I'll just run it through. If white isn't mating here, then he might be in trouble down the h-file, is what... This is a really nice move, this rook h1. Yeah, and it is... Look, I mean, you look at the disparity between like the best move and the second best move. Look, rook h1 in this position, such a crucial move. Now I'm saying ZH is much more complex. If you're just going to play bullet, then one might say it's you play very simple ideas a lot of the time, but it's much more complex. That's what I'm trying to argue. So, I think Fancy Play Syndrome was saying it's just the same ideas coming up again and again, same kind of mating patterns and so on. But actually, it's much more complex because it's not all about mating. It's also all the kind of positional play to get into that mating position. Yeah, look at this position. Rook h1 is in this position, such a strong move. You're contesting this h-file, and it's very hard for black to keep in control of the h-file. So we see all the best moves for black are basically block, block, block. Okay, concede the h-file, and white is winning because of that. Okay, so he does do a blocking move. The question is, does he have mate? Yeah, knight here just allow the trade. Knight at f5 is stronger. Knight at f7, which one wouldn't think of, but I guess the idea of knight at f7 is to stop the king running away, and you're threatening knight at f5, maybe followed by some kind of... Oh, you're also attacking the rook. Yeah, that's also true. But hang on, king takes e6. Okay, so takes, knight here, king takes e6, takes. Yeah, so king is running the wrong way because, yeah, rook takes h6 was extremely strong here. And we saw that during the game. You take the bishop and then drop the bishop here. It's not mating, but it's very close to mating. Let's just even just see it. So if we took the takes back, so here would be the mate. Bishop here, check. We have one knight in hand. So which squares? This is covered. You've only got one square. Is that it? Oh, the knight then blocks the bishop, so we can run here. Then can we drop a knight here? But then we can keep on running. So that doesn't work. So we release the bishops again. But if we take, we're just giving the opponent another pawn, so we keep on running, and then the pawn will mate us. Yeah, so rook takes bishop was extremely powerful in that position, because it couldn't be taken back. He had this very slow idea of, instead of just, I'm going to just maneuver my bishop around. But black could have retreated and just gone for a runner. But didn't. He instead just created a kind of luft for his king, which is also a reasonable idea. Yeah, and this is a position where if black could just find an opening in white's position, he was doing nicely. But look how safe white is with control of the rook file, all the squares around the king under control, and look how black does it. He knows he's got a couple of knights. He puts one knight down, targeting a second knight. Black needs to cover. Either needs to go for an aggressive move. Yeah, the idea of knight b5 is takes and take off this knight, or he needs to defend the threat. And when he doesn't, he is getting mated. Yeah, queen here check, and bishop here check. That's all. Even faster was bishop here check, blocks, and then queen here checkmate. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to look at all the games, but we're just having another just quick playthrough. So as white, blitzbullet now won this game with the French defense. And yeah, fairly solid, although black had chances to come back. I'm just going to just play through it, just for have the engine on the side, so those with eagle eyes can see where things shifted when they look over the game in the future. Yeah, so it felt like white was completely dominating here, as Oppa noticed in the chat. Bishop at e5 here. No, not here. Sorry, it's actually here. Bishop at e5 was incredibly strong, with ideas of knight h6. It's not mating quite, but it's just very powerful. Just to run through that line. Oh, he just wants to sack, because if the queen goes back, you have knight h6 with the threat of yeah, just rook at f7 and bishop takes pawn as a threat. So yeah, lots of just sacks. So that would be a kind of, yeah, it's just completely dominating basically, if not quite mating. But instead this, and suddenly black wasn't doing so badly. I wasn't sure what. You have to maintain the initiative somehow. You're picking up pawns, but yeah, a nice move here we missed. Pawn at b2, just deflect this bishop and then take off this bishop, because this bishop is a good attacking piece. So it's better to take than this bishop directly. Hi there, Mora Gazimora. Can I play with you as a viewer? Yeah, sure. But I was going to have a look through these games. That's the first thing I need to do. And the second thing I need to do is I might be playing a Lichess 45-45 game. And the third thing I've got to say is no, I'm not a title player. I'm looking through the games between National Master blitzbullet and FIDE Master garnek. I'm a Crazyhouse player. I'm not even the top 100 Crazyhouse player, but I'm about 2,000 rated Crazyhouse player. Maybe what we need to do is maybe you could add me on Lichess, and maybe I might not be able to play you today because, as I said, I want to have a quick look through these games, maybe, and then I might have to play a Lichess 45 game, which I still need to. I haven't heard back. Oh, actually, because I suggested playing actually in 8 minutes, so sooner than I expected, but I haven't had confirmation, so I might end. Yeah, I haven't had confirmation back, but I could be playing in as soon as like 7 minutes from now, a 45 plus 45 minute match. Yeah, I mean I'm scheduled to play someone else, and it's a league match for my team. So yeah, so I'm not sure if I can play any games. So suddenly Black gets counterplay, but is not quite winning, and then it doesn't quite work out. So it's like Black basically almost equalised. You see, for example here, Black's kind of almost equalised, but has to find the accurate move. Oh God, let's go back here again. So knight e3, he finds the right move here. Now what? I mean, knight takes queen seems good, but yeah, it's not obvious to play a move like bishop at g6 or something. But yeah, this is a kind of, it's saying bishop at g6 and then take the queen. This is all very, this is what I mean. These games were really hard from both players to play. It was really sharp stuff. And yeah, in the end, White's mating, and there's no way to stop this mate. It's really tough. Black's out of pieces, and there's a queen. There's a mating threat. And if we look at game 4, we'll look now from Garnek's perspective. So Garnek is white in game 4. Yes, I'm not sure if I'm even going to get to look through the end of these games because I might have to play a league match. And I haven't had any break, so that's life. Okay, so he has big attack, which is nice. He doesn't have a bishop to go here. Oh, he had an interesting move here, which I hadn't seen, which is bishop at d6. What's the idea? So if the king takes the knight, then the bishop takes the knight, and you got a raging attack because you've got a knight drop coming here. But if the bishop is taken, then you've got the queen coming in, and again the queen is taking the knight. So it's a weird sort of idea. Why can't Black just drop it? Yeah, there's a bishop here, and this is not looking so smart for White, except he has this move. You're not taking the queen with check or anything. And the queen is suddenly trapped; it can't even go here. So this is quite a find. So this is quite a complex idea. Like, why is this a good move? Why can't you just like hide away or do something else? And it's just a nice way of winning that knight. Or if you take the knight, you've got a huge attack going. So that's a crazy move, a very inhuman move to find. Really nice move. The idea being takes, queen takes knight, and pawn drop there, trapping the black queen. Okay, but so White had a. So anyway, something went wrong with White's attack, and apparently it's at this very move that it goes wrong. Knight h5 apparently is better than knight f5, slightly. I mean, knight f5 seems fine. So we're threatening a bishop drop here, picking up the rook. He guards against it. So why would... I see. So the thing with knight here is you prevent this bishop drop, because the knight would guard that square. So he's desperate for a pawn. He's trying to deflect. So it seems quite smart play from White, but just doesn't work. And it was in this position that Vempele was suggesting bishop takes b2. But certainly this move was not good from Black, because it allowed White this counterplay, threatening mate on e8. And White's now winning, as we saw in the game, just crushing. So the next game, which is won by blitzbullet as White, so White's winning another game here. So it's trying to sacrifice the knight back and does so. Yeah. And so we have a very kind of symmetric position. And yes, this is a nice one. So if the king goes to f8, you've got bishop takes h6. So instead the king goes here, now you've got knight h1. And this looked rather threatening, but bishop b5, as long as you defend this one, the knight was already defending this one. So takes, he defends it. He's looking possibly at a pawn at e2 drop coming. And this is a quite sharp game. Okay, let's actually see if the computer analysis has been requested. It hasn't. That's a pity. Rotates knight. So yeah, this is feels like a good defensive block. Bishop d2 was suggested during the game by Isaac Lee, which is, you can see it as a pretty smart move, bishop d2. But pawn at d3 is probably the best move. Why? I guess it keeps this bishop open to maybe come to f4 later. So we lose this pawn. Yeah, but this is a nice find. This move is, it falls to this fork. So it's a big blunder. So yeah, and I think during that game you have to work. White's way of winning this game is working through these dark squares. I think Isaac Lee said that in the game. He's, as he said, he's a good ideas person, and that was a very smart point he made. So White needs diagonal pieces to get to work on these dark squares. Doesn't happen, and instead it's Black who is surely in command here. And with this move he blows it. So White is threatening maybe a pawn drop here and a rook drop here, checkmate. And Black does not deal with this threat. And for sure there is a mate coming, although takes. Yeah, that was not the correct move, because he could now have gone king d8 and then have been completely safe again. So this the mate was not correctly executed, because the best mating plan was rook takes d8, takes. Oh, I see. You don't take. Yeah, taking the rook is not. Takes here, or takes the pawn either way. You're taking that with the knight, and then you have a knight and rook in hand, which are going to be enough to mate, weirdly. Okay, this is quite a complex mating thing. This is probably a key thing. So Black has mate, but misses it. So now White has mate, actually messes it up, because that's correct, but you need to take on c6. So the problem with these ideas is that d8 becomes this square is actually completely safe. You're covered by the queen, and then the bishop covers your light squares. But he missed it and played here, and then now this is getting mated. And what was the mate that Black had prior to this? Instead, it was it's quite complicated. Pawn at c4. Takes. And you've got a queen in hand. So queen in hand and pawns, and so stuff like queen here, knight takes knight would be kind of the problem. And if king here, just simply queen here is checkmate. So you have to take off a piece. The knight's coming in, and that's checkmate. So that was the mate that Black had, but missed. And instead just took off a knight, threatening knight takes rook and so on, but this is getting mated with correct play, but got mated anyway. So this is quite, I'm going to star this game to talk about later in the round recap. Okay, next game. So blitzbullet won this game as black, and it's been analysed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a by CPL play. So it'll slow down when a player plays a move that the computer doesn't like. So it's a feature which I don't use as much as I think I should, but I think it's going to be quite interesting. And I'm just going to watch the game, see. Yeah. So where a move isn't a move the computer doesn't like as much, it kind of there's a longer pause. It just gives you time to think what other options there were. So castles looks good, for example, here, but instead white plays queen e2. Knight takes e4 was played, but another idea is pawn at g4. Why is that a good idea? Pawn at g4. Yeah, okay, let's try and think. So queen e2 was a mistake. Queen g4 apparently was better. Okay, knight e5. So obviously the problem is this x-ray on g2, so he's afraid of moving. Let's just have a look at that for a second, actually. So, yeah, this is good. I need to. This is very counterintuitive. Like, well, you'd be very concerned about doing a move like this because of bishop takes g2 or drop on f3 or something like this. But the idea is then you take g4, and I'm guessing you are threatening a drop. Something happening. Yeah, so you try and drop here, and then you take. Okay. Okay, and if black were to just take this rook, what's the threat? Knight takes pawn. And if you try and just dodge it, which is not ideal, you have this coming. And now, yeah, that is not nice. And if you try and take that knight, you've got queen takes rook with a mating threat on f7. So you can see how, yeah, although black has quite a lot of pieces, it's not quite mating. And so it's a case of, yeah, knight e5 is quite a daring idea, but apparently would have worked. So we'll just continue having a look. Okay, so pawn at e3. So this feels like a good defensive move, but apparently, yeah, this was the idea that the Oppa had actually during the game. It's just playing for this break. I didn't notice this. This is the queen is pinning, so you could take with the bishop, but then knight takes bishop. So this is a really nice idea. Yeah, you could, for example, do this. Let's just see what this. This is sort of the computer line, but yeah. So it's just an interesting idea. Just trying to play on the fact the king is stuck in the center. White playing much more, conservatively, as if he's the one who has to defend. Yeah. So I'm sorry if this is. I mean, we've seen all these games already, but I just thought it'd be nice just to have a second look at them. But this might take a while, and I might be supposed to be playing a game, but it's just, I think it'd be fun. Okay, I'm going to just speed up a little. Bishop takes c3, apparently a mistake, because knight h4. Yeah, knight h4 is a really nice idea, but he wants a second knight for some reason to do this. But he could have just gone directly. So something goes, yeah. Knight h4 directly. So apparently it's slightly better. It's not clear why. Okay, and this is the point where where the lone wolf joined us, and as he said, I think it was on this one. Black's only got queens, which are not necessarily enough. Yeah, so bishop takes queen was possible here, which looked good, but instead rook here check with the idea now bishop takes queen and the knight can't take back. or rook takes rook is checkmate. So now there's a mating threat on g7, and so basically black has to mate or it's all over. But the bishop covers. Yeah, and so but black actually has, okay, this is very important. White is completely winning here, but bishop takes knight is a blunder and gives the mate black back to black. And black ended up winning this game. Because it gives white an extra piece, the bishop, which is then going to be a key piece in the mate. King d3, queen here, king here, bishop takes pawn, and so on. This is how the game finished. But if in this position the king just goes to e2, now when the queen drops on e1, king goes here, and black has no pieces in hand to finish the job off. So queen d1, you just casually, okay, you could even just casually block. No, you can't. Sorry, bishop at d2. But come on, can't you just run away? This just feels safer. King to c4, got d5 check. You could even just take that, but that's giving a rook, so I don't like. Why not just casually run away? Feels. So black could win pawns. Knight takes e6, queen takes pawn. Knight takes bishop, and so on. But for sure, this is going to be mating. So just to show some of the mating lines, take the bishop. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. But apparently that is a good idea. Well, why not just take back the bishop? Because if you take back the bishop, then rook d7. Okay, suppose black were to block with the bishop. Oh yes, you're dropping with the queen here. That's checkmate because it's defended by this bishop. Takes f3 gives black an extra piece. Yes, yeah. So I'm just looking. Hi there, Opera Viro 90. I'm just looking back through some of the games. Some might find this boring because we've seen all the games already, but I just thought it's just quite nice just to have in the heat of the action. We often miss things. It's quite, yeah. So king e2 straight away was actually completely safe. So yeah, I mean, I might even star this as something to talk about in the round recap. You just you take it, and suddenly he's got this extra diagonal piece which he needs to mate you. It's just quite. So yeah, so that was that game. So now looking at the next game, which garnek won from black's perspective. So we had this opening. Ah yes. So this reminds me. This is something which Michael once told me. I somehow I didn't notice it in the game because I was looking at it from white's perspective. But the idea is in this position. Yeah, you're attacking this bishop, but you've also got ideas maybe of pawn drop. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this is before white plays knight f3. You sometimes have this idea of attacking both this pawn and this bishop. And sometimes the bishop has to drop back if he doesn't want to lose a pawn. But no, that's not true in this position. So this, I always find, I mean, and then you're attacking this pawn and this pawn in those other lines. But I always find in my own experience this pawn here sometimes is a little bit poisoned because the queen ends up getting trapped, just like in the French defense. I'm not very good at. Okay, but apparently it could have been taken. Okay, it does get taken. Yeah, the queen go. I mean, yeah, why not bishop takes queen here? This was a. I mean, I'm guessing he was afraid of this. So bishop takes queen. Yeah, so black apparently is actually. Yeah, so black might actually be doing quite okay. Either from f takes g2 or. So this is quite. So knight h3. So king h1 is a mistake because he's got pawn takes pawn, and yeah, this square is not, these squares aren't guarded. So it could get really hairy if you don't take it. And if you do take it, you're then taking on e2, queen takes e2. I'm not sure if this is good for black, but it could be. Because you've still got a knight, a pawn, and a bishop in hand. Knight here, check, king here, pawn here, check, queen takes pawn, knight takes queen, so you've got a queen. White is safe for one move, but black isn't getting mated immediately by those two knights, apparently. So yeah, this is... Yeah, okay, he's got this move to win that knight, potentially, but then you've got this, ouch, with the dangerous ideas. So dangerous that he would sack the queen. Yeah, so this is... It's thinking of pawn at b7, so it's quite interesting. This was actually pretty nice for black, but really pretty sharp line, quite difficult to... Knight h3 idea, but I imagine what he was afraid of was just simply pawn takes pawn, but that's not as dangerous. You could drop a knight on f4 or something. The other idea is pawn takes bishop. If you go queen takes pawn, dropping a knight at f4. Why is that so dangerous? Can't you just come here, but then knight here, king here, and then pawn here? These sorts of ideas. So black would have had a huge attack. So it doesn't dare to take the queen. Knight h3, crazy move to open g2. Yeah, indeed. And not just a sort of side variation from the game, but so white was quite wise not to take the queen, and yeah, the game continues. Yeah, this is the position where this is a really sharp game where, yeah, if the queen moves aside, then white's got a mate. If black swaps queens, then white's got a kind of threatened mate, and it's looking really awkward. So you have to somehow block off this file. And when we were watching this game, we were thinking white was in cruise control here, and you were in fact suggesting this pawn at c6, which has the advantage, as Isaac Lee pointed out, I didn't actually notice myself, that it, as well as threatening pawn takes pawn, it's also covering this square, which means that knight here is a mating threat. Knight takes pawn. Bishop here. So, and this is just a computer line. I'm not sure what that was. So pawn there. It's thinking of queen takes pawn potentially, and then it decides against it. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything. Queen take. Is there anything in that where it takes? Which takes it? This is you're sacking too much, surely. And the king just slide in the corner, and yeah, white has enough. I think white has enough control of the back rank to be safe. Knight at g3, you just take it. So there's a lot of knights though, so it's a little bit concerning. Rook at h2. I mean, okay, this is just, it's sort of the case where it's slightly worrying. But hang on, the bishop's covering the square. What is it? Yeah, there's nothing here, surely. Rook at g2, bishop takes g3. It's just sacking pieces, I think. So okay, so at h3 was played, which is not quite as strong because you can then block off this file, and this now is not a mating threat. Queen d7. Here, queen takes. So queen takes pawn is possible simply because knight takes. So maybe it is a mating threat. Let's see. Knight takes pawn. Is that a mating threat? Not a mating threat, but yeah, you're threatening to pin the queen to the rook. So that was and you've got some nice initiative. If you take the rook, you're taking back with check is the problem. So that is mating. So then if you take this way, then yeah, this is the black king is far too open. So white would be winning this. So queen takes pawn is an interesting idea, which was missed. So many sharp games in this position. Queen is a little bit offside from the defense, but somehow white yeah, somehow black has managed to cover up this D file, and yeah, and get safe. Rook G8 doesn't like Rook G8 because it just falls to this. Fish takes H7, Knight H3. Check. Yeah, so this was the case. So this is suddenly a mating attack, which is actually something to take very seriously, and it is force mate. Computer sees. You could just take the you could just take the queen defending, but it's force mate. Okay, so that was that one. Let's just check, and I'm just keeping on checking in case I'm supposed to be playing a game, but yeah, not yet. Okay, the game I lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Game 8. So this is the point where Garnek is coming back because he's 2-4 down, then 3-4 down, and blitzbullet is playing this 12-teen opening. Ooh, lost track. Run it through, but let's just run it through. Okay. I'm sorry for all the arrows on the screen for those who don't like the engines. I don't know. I think the engines give nice ideas. This is obviously a mate threat if you just leave it lying around. But hang on. So what's interesting here is the way that I thought this move was trying to encourage black to castle, and then knight takes rook then becomes a possibility. So I thought that was quite interesting. I mean, as black, I'd have almost been tempted like not to castle to try and discourage knight takes rook, because then the rook file is opening on h2, but maybe it's quite difficult to not castle. So he does the obvious thing and castles, and as Vempele said, this is tough. So, I mean, this and giving away the queen was too much, but just trying to maintain initiative. So if he the problem is, why didn't he just go pawn takes bishop? And oh, we didn't realize it. Mate in 5. So knight at e7, king here, rook here, knight here, knight here, rook here, takes knight, bishop here, checkmate. Wow. So I didn't see that at all. There was actually a mating threat, with the key move being rook at h7. So he does this move, bishop, which is quite good. It's a defensive move with all these attacking ideas, while also with attacking ideas. So he's not gonna get mated in 5, but he's just going to be ground down. And this is a nice find. Bishop at e8. It's amazing. It's like it is actually one of the top 3 moves. The idea being, if you take that bishop, then yeah, you can drop a rook in the corner. Takes, knight takes pawn. If you go here, you're just going to get, well, if you go here, the idea was rook at h8, king here, and a knight and a pawn is going to mate. And if you step up, we've got another knight, don't we? So yeah, this is just also going to be mate. Bishop takes knight, knight takes bishop. Now he has to step this way. Well, we could just use a queen and another queen and a rook to mate, however we like, or use because it mate. So that was a nice aggressive move. But anyway, he's going to find mate eventually, come what may. Takes knight, a knight and a pawn as. So knight would be enough here, and that blocks off the bishop, so you can now go pawn. Okay, so that was a very good game from Garnek to tie the match at 4-all. But blitzbullet maintain the edge as white. Yeah, here. Knight takes c6. yeah, so I mean, I think just has a material advantage, and very, as long as he doesn't give away a rook, he's quite safe. Okay, so here it was interesting because I thought, why not take the bishop? Yeah, but actually, advancing the pawn is potentially even stronger than taking the bishop. And this is a very nice mate to finish. Okay, but Garnek ties the match at 5-all by also winning as white in the 10th game. So we see both players suddenly playing this solid setup. No, not both players. It's blitzbullet playing this solid setup around the king. Well, it doesn't serve him as black in the same way as it served him as white. So I'm probably missing lots of things because so this was a bad move apparently. When he's checked, he should have taken this pawn, allowed rook takes pawn, and just dropped bishop, which is defended by this bishop. So potentially knight here, but you can just take it apparently, and black is winning. Stunningly. So yeah, that would have been an idea for black. But instead, he goes here. And again, this is not a good move from white. Rook takes pawn was much more powerful. So it's one of these critical junctures. He just takes, just didn't notice. Takes. But there was this queen takes g6 move we saw in this game, which really, yeah, that was the killer move suddenly. So suddenly the black is still okay, but as a critical move he has to play in this position. Either pawn at h7 or bishop at h7. Going for a counterattack immediately, and then... yeah, that didn't work, basically. But if you go in an immediate pawn at h7, it looks like black still has an edge. So, yeah. The computer suggesting pawn at f6, even h takes g6, f takes g7, bishop takes g7, and black is safe for now and has a good material edge and can grind his way to a victory. So then it was 5-all, and that last two games, blitzbullet wins both these games. And again, he's got the safe setup as white, so which he's adopted, and he's this is like a hook into your position. So this was a crush. This particular game, yeah, I think h6 is not well. The computer doesn't mind it, but we see later it doesn't. That was proved to be not a good move. Swaps queens, and yeah, this is just all over. Queen in the corner, bishop takes pawn. That was the mate. There was a faster mate. Knight to f6. King goes here. Then what's the mate? Yeah, king goes here. Just bishop takes pawn is mate. King goes here. Queen. Sorry, still bishop takes pawn. Okay, so if pawn takes knight, then queen here is mate. So that's just straight away. So king f8 is the only move that slightly delays the mate. Now it looks like the king is running, but these two squares are blocked. But this requires some kind of sack. And actually the fastest way is this, and then queen drop here. So that would have been the fastest mate, but the mate which we were actually seeing in the voice chat was also the mate that he played, which was this slightly protracted idea, but that also nicely worked. So that was a crush, and so then the key game of the match is this last one. As black, blitzbullet wins. So we have a completely different feel to this one for a lot of the other openings. Yeah, knight takes pawn, this was nice. Bishop takes c2, knight takes c2. So this is a position, yeah, it's not clear who was winning to us at all. It's such a sharp position. King takes f7, the king is open, but so bishop at d3 check was also a very nice idea here, and I think Opera actually mentioned that in the chat. Bishop at c4 is also strong. Why can't he just do something like this? But then you can just take it. And if he just runs away, yeah, this whole game was incredibly sharp. You can't do something like this because otherwise you're queening and then taking anything here because the bishop's covering it. So that would have been an interesting move. But what about queen takes pawn, bishop takes queen? Okay, then the bishop is threatening mate, so that doesn't work. So pawn at e2 was actually an interesting move in that position. But that was missed. So instead, this was played. And pawn at f7 is, yeah, we were saying in the chat, pawn at f7 seems to be the best move for white to just keep a slight edge in this position. But it's very unclear like who's winning. It's like pawn f7, king d8, then knight g to e4. It's like that's just the move order. Then bishop takes pawn and trying to undermine black's attacking pieces. Yeah, it's quite difficult. But okay, so what actually happens is knight g to e4 immediately. Queen here check, which is an idea I think quite nice, but because you don't want to have the queen taken with check. I mean, it's suggesting pawn takes bishop, but then knight takes queen comes with check. Bishop takes knight. So this feels not that good, but for some reason the computer likes it. I don't like it at all. So queen here looks good. Takes this knight, then the pawn. Knight here check. Queen comes back. Apparently a pawn drop on e2 is better, but that was not clear. So e2 is definitely a key square in this whole game. There just isn't quite mate. d8 is safe. Again, white's best defense is dropping on e2. This doesn't work. Bishop at c4 drops, just take it. But okay, so he does this. Eventually take it. Threatening mate, takes, and mate. Knight can't take back. He could have just played the mate immediately. But yeah. So that was 7-5 to blitzbullet. So congratulations to blitzbullet. He proceeds to round 5. And thanks to all the guys who joined me earlier on the CWC voice chat. And that's it for this stream. Thanks for watching.